on turn 5 or turn 4, depending on your Farseek situation. You just fill your hand back up and leave the fog mana open when you play your next card. Sphinx Revelation, Elixir of Immortality, 2 fogs, and I think that's it. Another land there for Matt. And Leland's hand is doing very, very well with his mana dork on turn 1. Obviously the ideal start for him. And Elixir of Immortality.
Yeah. He did have the Aggro bolus, it's worth noting.
Yep.
Chose not to take the 2 there. And I think I see double fog, or is that triple fog?
It's a Domri raid there for Leland. And can you look at this and see if we need to turn that light off? Because people didn't like it. They wanted the light on.
And here's the auger.
Yeah, I don't see that Domri.
And it looks like he's going to hit. And he's got a couple choices to make between the 4th fog and what does that look like to you, Jim? Is it a dissipate and is that a Sphinx's Revelation?
I thought I saw a Sphinx Revelation. We changed the lighting a little bit here to the general dismay of most of the people out in the play area, but much, much better here on the stream.
And he takes the dissipate, which I think I would have taken there. He's got triple fog in hand.
Yeah, it goes to the bottom, so he's going to get a shuffle at some point. So it's not going to be stuck on the bottom of his deck forever. But yeah, with that number of fogs in hand already, there's no reason to pick up a 4th one.
He's got this. He's got 1 Sphinx's Revelation. He's got triple fog. Why not get a little diversity and grab the other card?
Yep.
One of you two on the Facebook post the names of the top 8 players and like the name of their hand.
All right. You'll be taking over for Will Smith.
Right, so it looks like Leland is going to pass it back. We got an attack with a Flint Hoof board, it looked like the turn before.
No, that was this turn. That was like he played the Burning Tree Emissary into the Flint of 4 and then took 2 damage too. Yep.
But then passed it back to Matt.
Matt's at 17.
So Force comes down for Leland. And we're going to get a swing in. Let's see what Timko does. Block on the Burning Tree Emissary. And it looks like the Flint Hoof board is going to get through.
So that'll take Matt down to 14 here. Do we know anything in Leland's hand from the Domri raid?
Leland's doing a pretty good job of...
He'd have to reveal anything from Domri, so he's whiffing there?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting he hasn't fought yet.
I don't think he used the effect yet this turn. Camera's kind of...
All right.
So Leland untaps and
Matt's just happy not to be facing acidic slime.
was that a flip off the Domini? What it kind of looked like?
Looks like a bonfire.
Oh, okay, that's why he miracled it.
Yep, and it's going to get dissipated.
And we're seeing an attack with the Flint Hoof board. And it looks like we have a chump block with the auger.
Matt, am I just squaring up with Baney for you? That was it? Okay, so.
And here's a plus on the Domini, and it looks like...
Just make sure we're all on the same.
Sorry. And he did hit on that. Adds to his hand, and Now, what would you think Matt's gonna do here? Lay this land tapped and just fog, or he's gonna take the 2. So you got to expect that he's thinking about Sphinx Revelation here, correct?
Yeah, typically you wouldn't just lay 2 on a shock like that. I mean, he could fog and revelate for 2, but that
Is there
doesn't
really a point
seem.
then?
Well, I mean, I don't know, but if Domery just got an emblem, then the double strike from that emblem is just going to mean he has to fog, I believe.
But I mean, if you're passing back knowing that Gomery's gonna emblem, don't you just keep it tapped and
Yeah,
just fog there?
yeah, I don't think I would bother with the 2 life.
Yeah.
But unless he plans, he might be debating revelating for 2, though, is the only reason to consider doing it.
Yeah. But something quick has got to happen here. We need to see a wrath effect for Matt to clear this board up a little bit. Leland just the judge gave him his very own emblem. Looks handwritten.
It's fancy.
It is fancy. I think they went over the budget making that.
We'd have to pillage one of the traders in the room's rare binders to get one of those emblems, and I think
maybe
we
they heard us.
we may have done so.
Oh,
Nope,
nope.
nope, nope.
Nope.
Oh,
And looks like a Hell Rider dropped down for Leland. He's definitely going to swing out here, and I think that's going to force the fog to happen because this is just an insane amount of damage now, thanks to the emblem of Domni Raid. And I think you might be right, Jim. I think he might force a Sphinx for 2 here just to try to draw some answers. Even though he does have triple fog, it just doesn't seem like, with the board state date, Leland is now amassing. This is going to be rough without a... Wow, and he hits with the new one. It's going to be rough to... hit
Yeah,
with that without a...
without having a land in his hand, to know that he's going to have a more valuable Sphinx Revelation for certain coming the next turn, it's best to just probably get the draw for 2.
There are a lot of cards that we can see here, though, right now. And there is the Sphinx Revelation. So he's going to gain 2 life. And we see a Dissipate and... Oh, it's a little too quick. Untaps and draws into a Hollowed Fountain. And it looks like a Breeding Pool comes into play tapped. And he ships the turn back to Leland. Still with 2 fog in his hand. And a couple outs for Timko right here would be a Terminus, which would just be huge. And I believe he has a 3 Supreme Verdict in the main board, so those would also be great if you can draw them in the next couple turns. On the Leland side, it looks like he's got 6 cards in his hand. And he's tapping 3. Looked like for a second Hell Rider that got dissipated.
Yeah, 2 Hell Riders usually is insurmountable. Even just, I mean, you can just even attack and fog. It doesn't help you.
Yeah. I think we did miss the 4 from Hell Rider that should have.
Yeah, so Matt should be at 12.
12. And he is now will be at 8.
So yeah, he goes to 8 now. Really kind of an impressive beatdown plan, despite the fact that fog is happening every turn. But Matt's going to gain 5 and shuffle his library or his graveyard back into his library.
I see.
Yeah, so that puts him at 13.
I think when you're digging for answers here, though, putting more cards back in your deck that aren't answers right now.
Yeah. Well, he put how many fogs back in his deck though? Those are answers here.
Well, kind of. The Hellrider on the board is
Yes. Yeah.
slowly going to start picking away at him, and he really needed a Terminus or a Supreme Verdict to just get that off the board.
Yeah. It seems like he could have waited a draw step at least.
Because he had another fog, so he
Right.
could have waited 2 more turns to do that.
Yeah. And it really just buys him one more combat step no matter what, so probably not the most ideal use of the card there.
Yeah.
But there's other outs, I suppose. I don't know. Maybe like an Urban Evolution into an
But it's
Azorius
just- it's
Charm.
harder
Is
to
he
get
playing
to those
Azorius
cards,
Charm?
though, you know, he had less cards in his deck to draw, and he might just draw another Dissipate or something, which
You know,
doesn't help him.
he drew a Breeding Pool, which didn't help either. So one more fog.
And it looks like we'd be going to the second game. Domini with a hit.
No, I'm probably gonna take the more optimistic route, like you did with our 2-land control player
You'd
earlier.
just be wrong.
I'll risk it. Matt's gonna drop down to
the third
9 here.
Leland's shaking his hand a little bit.
Leland's definitely going to be shaking his hand when, like, he does 4 more, takes his opponent to 5, and then gets Faithful Houred the next turn on a Clinging Mist. Like, Urban Evolution.
Okay, you
Urban
did call
Evolution.
Urban Evolution, so let's see. Unfortunately, he will not have enough to...
He's already got the land to... Ooh. It's a scoop
certainly right.
phase.
He does have...
Scoop phase.
He does have the land.
All
I
right,
think
well,
he's
that'll
not
do
gonna
it.
show Leland anything
That'll
else,
do
and
it
he's
for
gonna
this one,
scoop it
yep.
up,
So, I mean, realistically, the Fog player can expect to have drawn the Wrath by then. But I personally, I play the 4th Supreme Verdict. It definitely is helpful. But I don't have a Terminus in my main. So he plays the same number of sweeps, and he had like the same number of outs there.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's times it just doesn't happen. He's even...
I honestly think it was just...
I don't even know what's in my deck. I feel like he's just playing more of everything. How is this happening?
He's playing a lot of 1-ofs if you look.
Yeah.
It's,
But I do too. Like, I'm like one Architect of Thought, 1 Tameo, 2 Memory Adepts.
well, maybe it's just
Like,
80 cards,
What
Jim.
did, yeah, I don't know. What did he register here?
61.
61, yeah? Okay. So he is just playing extra cards. That's how he does it. So we get a look at the room here. It's
They do
John
a close-up on
Richmond
a night.
and, let's see, Rob Richardson there, who are playing on the bottom right of your screen. John Richmond playing Blue-Green Delver.
Really?
Yeah, Blue-Green Delver.
I haven't seen Delver become... or I haven't seen Delver be a thing for a while. At least
Yeah?
at our locals. Do you have any feelings on that?
What, the Delver?
The Delver deck?
No, I'm just happy it's gone. I don't think it's actually that good. I mean, I think John's a strong player, and he's clearly playing well. Because there's people I think out there that are also strong players that are playing what I think are better decks who aren't there. So it's got some. I haven't tested it much to speak confidently, but there's nothing wrong with it on a low level, an FNM scale. It's just fine for an FNM deck.
'Cause your
And
Delver's only
it could be
gonna-
fun. I don't know
Yeah.
if you
Your
like
Delver's
it.
only going to flip a couple times. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's- Like when you take it to a 5-round FNM, cool.
But-
you take it to a 15-round GPT.
Yeah, John I think is a little bit more on the Quirion Dryad plan. These players get their decks sideboarded and ready to go here for the next game. We'll just take a quick peek. All right. Looks like they're giving it one last shuffle. I don't know if we missed a mulligan here. I don't think so. And the rest of our top 8 here, for you guys today. There's obviously this match, then Michael Cruz versus Aubrey Reese. That's Reanimator versus the Experiment Aggro Jun deck. Then we have Rob Kelly playing Esper Control versus Dave Schernick playing Prime Speaker Bant. And then we have John Richmond and Rob Richardson in the other match, and that's Blue Green Delver versus, not 100% certain, I believe it's Jund mid-range. Yep, sure is. So Rob's playing Jund today.
So what do you think Timko brought in to kind of fight a little bit of Leland's creatures here?
What did Leland bring in? I'm sorry?
No,
what did Matt bring in to combat the creatures? Well, there's not really a whole lot here. He could have brought in just Oblivion Rings, just more things that take away the Hell Riders, because it's really the one hang-up that he has.
So I think the other Dissipate's probably going to come in. And what do you think about
no,
Assemble?
he's gonna take Dissipate out. He's gonna drop every Dissipate in his deck out of it.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think he's going to add it in.
No, it's the control versus control match. I'm almost positive he'll be bringing it out in this one. If we have time and we can't get another match in, we can bring him in and talk to him about some of his sideboard choices.
What about Assemble Legion? What do you think?
Again, that's another card you bring in the control matchups. So I don't think it's bad in the sense that by the time his fog's let up, he's able to, have an army of blockers, so that way he's, gains more fogs in that sense, and then can turn the game over and win with it. I don't know exactly how he plans to use this, because it honestly never really occurred to me to kind of put red in to try to win in this fashion with the Keswick Wolf run. So I'm pretty curious to see, if we can get an opportunity to see him use Assemble the Legion. I'd love to see how it can be effective against a deck like this. But my instinct is that that's more for, I have all these Wraths and Fogs I don't need against my control deck. Like I had a couple times last night where I sideboarded down to 2 Fogs. This feels so dirty. I should just be playing something else. I pretty much was.
Are we still seeing just the shuffling? Did we miss the mulligan?
Because neither player has a hand yet, I have to assume we're just seeing some aggressive shuffling here. Yep.
So Leland presents his deck,
and we will be
strong.
starting to do a little brainstorming here while we have an opportunity to think of what our trivia question will be for this round, and that will be for a $5 store credit gift card here. The website will be up, GameCoreOnline.com. That website will be up and running on, I believe, Tuesday or Wednesday, middle of the week. Hopefully, definitely not later than Friday. But you can keep track of the Facebook feed. We'll keep you guys updated there. And you'll want to get ready and focus on our Facebook feed right now. That is where you'll be submitting your questions by private message to the page. The first person who gets the correct answer in will be the winner of the $5 gift card. And we see here Leland doing a whole lot of nothing until turn 3, and he's got a Domri raid.
But so the way Leland's been hitting on that Domri raid, it's a whole lot of something.
Yeah, he's been making
a burning tree.
Yeah, just an emissary. Not a bad card to pick up, but.
And let's see what he pairs it with after he flips over the next card next turn.
I see a Strangleroot Geist in his hand. Yep.
Seems pretty nice.
Supreme Verdict for Matt, and then the O-rings.
There's the O-ring.
Did come in. Take out the Planeswalker. 2 or 3 creatures this turn. What do you think?
I'm gonna say 2.
2.
Yeah. Oh wait, no. He's got the double green for the Strangleroot Geist.
So yeah, he would. You could get 3 2-drops out there.
Or what just happened?
I don't think he used his mana from the The Burning Tree Emissary.
No.
He forgot he had it. He didn't have anything to do with it, and just I don't know. But he could have like left a red open.
I can't believe.
What are you feigning? A guy's playing? I don't know.
That's true. He had 4 mana there. It seems like.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't play anything for the first 2 turns, so you've got to think his hand isn't just flooded with things that he could have been doing. It's probably burn spells and such. Yeah, Matt picks up 2 lands here with Jace. He will be vulnerable to.
Which is good because
sizable
he actually
attack.
needed land.
Yeah, he
the
did.
rest of his hand was all spells.
And he will be taking this damage. He's already at 18.
He does have a fog in hand and what looks like a Snapcaster.
And 2 damage from Hellrider is going to kill off Jace. 1 more damage from Hellrider drops him to 17. And he does have the fog.
Yeah.
So Matt will be down to 17. He'll stay there. Thankfully, I didn't think Matt had it. I thought I saw a Clinging Mist only.
This is where we're going to see the Supreme Verdict, I think.
Oh, yeah. Matt would be crazy to risk.
Yeah,
turn.
you don't want to get too fancy and say, oh,
No.
play another creature.
There it is. I was going to say, maybe we're wrong. He's the one top 8 today, but he agrees with us, so that makes me feel good. At least I know I didn't get it wrong. All right.
That's 5.
Yeah, he's going to take 5 here with the Undying trigger, and he's going to take.
Wow.
Oof. Yeah, so Matt drops to 4. Clinging Mist will now have Faithful Hour. Just saying. So the creatures won't untap during their next untap step.
Let's see what he's got. He does have a Snapcaster here, but Supreme Verdicting only puts him at 3, so any haste guy.
Yeah, he can't do that. I
No.
think he's just going to Farseek. Yep. And then he'll Snapcaster. Or if he has the Clinging Mist in his hand, that's what he'll do.
I didn't see the Clinging Mist.
I could have sworn I saw it earlier, but I don't know where this Farseek came from. So
Gotcha. Let's be optimistic.
yeah, there's
Say it's in
definitely
his
a
hand.
Clinging Mist there.
And
For being
Leland's down-
optimistic, he's got a Detention Sphere, right?
And Leland's down to 1 card.
I believe so.
It
The
looks
card
like Timko
advantage
has
engine of
4,
what's that?
and Timko has 4.
4 or 3.
Games that
Get
go.
a Snapcaster Mage. And we did see a Snapcaster Fog from, last turn from Timko. Leland just added an Arbor Elf, passed the turn. 1 card left in his hand, I believe. Matt has an Oblivion Ring. That's not really what he's looking for right now. I think I saw a Clinging Mist. Again, I have a habit of seeing those, though.
So Leland's starting to turtle just a little bit. Oh no, he decides to come in with it. I'm convinced he can hear me.
Getting a blocker declared, which is strange. And then, yep, clinging missed.
So we're gonna get a tap down.
Yeah, those creatures will not untap next turn. Dissipate was the draw, so he at least left him in. Don't know if he added any more.
I feel like if you left them in, he added the third one. If you're gonna take him out, you take him out. Just because of the Hellrider, you can't let that thing stick.
Yeah.
And it's one of his only outs to stopping it completely.
All right. Well, it's time to do the prize giveaway here. So the winner of this trivia question is going to receive a $5 gift card that will be redeemable on the GameCoreOnline.com website or in the store here in Erie if you're a local player and would rather just swing on in and pick it up. But once the website's up, you may as well just order it for online or order it for in-store pickup on the site to make things easier. You won't have to wonder if they have it before you leave the house. You'll have their inventory at your fingertips. So that'll be very convenient for you guys. But go ahead and find Facebook.com/GameCore LLC. That's Game CORPS LLC.
Oh, and a Hellrider off the top for Leland.
Yeah, as Leland rips a Hellrider. But our trivia question is, what's the most damage that we've seen dealt in one turn here today?
Is it by one creature?
No, just in general, one turn. It's the same answer, regardless. We can give that as a clue. Yeah, I don't think we've had more than... Hold on one second, I'll just make sure. No, not by one creature, I'm sorry. It was the biggest spike in one turn. I was thinking of the same play, I'm sure. But, yeah, so the most damage dealt in one turn.
So we're going to see it dissipate here. Or did we already see? Oh, he had a second Hellrider.
Yeah.
And we have a clinging mist again, which is just going to be so helpful.
I believe Matt took one there then, since the Hellrider turned sideways, even though it got clinging mist.
Oh,
And Leland's going to take the match here.